dare actually attack us. So therefore, that is taken care of. So what we need to do is quit going looking for trouble, invading country, occupying country, and we have to reject this notion totally and completely of preemptive war. Preemptive war is starting the war. We, as Americans, don't start war. We'll fight them if we need to, and we'll win them if we have to. We'll declare them if necessary, but we should not start the war. What made our country great was the emphasis on personal liberty. If you have personal liberty, that means you have a right to your life, you have a right to your liberty. You should, of course, have the right to keep the fruits of your labor. That system doesn't work unless you understand property rights. Your property, you have a right to your own life. That means you own your own life. And property is very important, but property now today is regulated so much by government. You have to get permission from the government for every single thing you do with your land. And of course, if you don't pay the rent, your taxes, you lose your land. So the whole thing has de-emphasized the value of property. The whole idea of the income tax emphasizes the fact that the government owns our income and then they allow us to keep a certain percentage under their rules. But we can restore prosperity by having sound money, limited government, a much less taxation, a lot less regulation, and a lot less debt, which means that we quit spending overseas. That is not complicated, but politically it is complicated because there are still powerful special interests in Washington and around the country who want power. Power is the seductive issue that tempts people in both parties and all politics. So what we wanting our liberty, means we want to diminish the power of government and give the power and control back to the people. Comes to us from our Creator in a natural way. It means that people should come together on this issue. Diversity shouldn't exist. All diversity should come together because liberty permits people to be diverse, as long as they don't hurt people or take people's property. This means it should appeal to people and that people can use that liberty in different ways. They can spend their money the way they want. If they want to waste it, they have a right to waste their money in a free society. But they don't have a right to come to us or to the government and bail them out when they mess up. Social or personal liberty. It is the same thing. For some reason, 100 years ago, when we embarked on this big government, we took liberty and chopped it to pieces, thinking that your personal lifestyle and your personal way you live is different from your economic line. And people half-heartedly defended both. But you put it back together and say the right to your life means you defend your right to run your life as you so choose, and you also have your economic liberty to take care of your property and work and keep the fruits of your labor. It's all one thing. Solve our problems in Washington. But let me tell you, from the travels I have made around, especially in this particular state of Washington, there's a lot of enthusiasm, believe me. But there's reason to expect that it will take a little while longer because we still have to deal with the politicians. You know, there's still a bunch of politicians over in Washington. And a lot of special interests. There are so many people who benefit from this system, whether it's the monetary system, the military-industrial complex, whatever. Media. There's a big control, and it's power. So the answer can be found in liberty. We had this great experimentation, the best in the history of the world. We were the freest nation in the world. and we were the most prosperous nation in the world. Always undermines the middle class, and it always shrinks the middle class, and wealth is transferred from the poor and the middle class to the wealthy. We see it all around us, and we have nothing but debt. The debt that the wealthy ran up and Wall Street ran up, and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, we own all that debt, and the people have that burden. And it has to change, or we cannot restore our freedoms, we cannot restore our prosperity until we understand the very nature of money, the very necessity of a different foreign policy, the very need to have an understanding of property rights, and of course the understanding about what liberty is all about. We've had this great experiment and had this great success, and now, if we don't do our job, if this message isn't spread, and we're all obligated to spread it, if this is not spread, we will continue to lose. But let me tell you, the message I'm getting is the message is spreading. Exactly what will come out of the campaign. We do know that the strategy of building up delegates is pretty sound. On one note, the Republican Party and all the other candidates, one thing they agree on, they say, we want to elect and pick the individual who can best beat Obama. Turns out that there was a recent poll. I, with your help, do the best against Obama. It should not be a surprise, because when we go around, we get our rallies, people come out. Of course, we have a lot of young people, energetic. We have a lot of independents. We have a lot of independents come out, and we have a lot of Democrats come out. That makes my point. Freedom brings people together, and that is the reason this message will bring conservative Republicans, undecided independents, as well as Democrats who are sick and tired of the promises of the promise to protect civil liberties and to end these wars. We can build this coalition and bring it together and restore the Republic. Thank you.